We need to talk.
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 Welcome back to Me to Talk, episode number 54. I'm your host, Mr. KOA, alongside
Top Boy.
And it is, last week of November?
Yeah, we go into December on Saturday.
Bruh.
December 1st.
Where did the year go?
Don't know.
Finished. Done.
It flew by very quickly.
Torched.
I know.
Gone. Bro, I think... Let's just take a second to just... Because I feel like I have that's one of my weaknesses, I'll admit. That because I work so much and work so hard and do so much shit on, like, nonstop.
Yeah.
I seldom stop to be like, bro, like, just let it sit, let it sink in. Like,
yeah.
And it's not even to be like, you're so great. No, it's like, you should literally need to take time to be like, to remind yourself, like, you're okay. Because there's sometimes you're like, I gotta do more, no, it's not enough. I didn't make enough. I gotta make more.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're like, you're much better than you were last December. Much better.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So a lot's happened this year, and I can honestly just say it's been a blessing. It's been a crazy year. A lot of ups and downs, more ups than downs, which is fortunate. But bro, we've almost, both of us. When did you quit your job?
February. Yeah, February.
February?
Yeah.
Cause I quit February 1st.
I think it was like was it February 1st?
Yeah, my last day was January 27th.
You know what? It might have been. I think it might have been after my birthday, like early March. I think.
Okay.
I think it was. I could be wrong, but either way, it was like either end of February, or beginning of March.
Either way, it's almost been a goddamn year you've been self-sufficient.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's fucking sick.
It's fucked up when you think about it.
That's actually sick.
It's actually wild because I was looking at the Instagram story post that you were posting from the KOA Pros.
Yeah.
And someone had brought up the story of how you used to cuss out that woman that you used to work with.
My work snaps?
Yeah, and I remember those work snaps.
Bro, it became a thing. Like, people used to go on Snapchat to watch this shit.
I vividly remember them. I remember every day when you're on your way to work, the geese that would just get in your way. Like, oh my God. I remember all those things. So
people used to snap me geese. Yeah. Like, it was funny.
I know. It was not funny
like,
to you
they
at
would
all.
purposely send me, when they run to geese, they send it to me. Like, I want to see more. But, I know. It's, bro, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It is crazy. And it just goes to show, like we were talking about yesterday, through text. It just goes to show that once you take control of your life, possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
Literally endless. Like, one thing for sure is if you don't take control of your life, certain things are maximized for you.
Yeah,
like,
if you don't take control of it, someone is going to take control of it for you.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't know, sometimes I wonder if, based on what you and I do, how we worked corporate, we worked a 9 to 5, and then we left and started doing our own thing. Sometimes I wonder if that enables people to think that, okay, they also have to go and be self-sufficient, like not work a 9 to 5. Mm-hmm. And, what I've just learned in this past year is there are a lot of people who, for example, they may not even have the capacity. I don't want to make it sound negative, but they may not have the capacity to do what you and I do, like go fully freelance, because it's scary at first. But they may very well just be working at a 9 to 5 that is very comfortable for them, right. But they don't like. Whereas there's another 9 to 5 out there for them that is literally what they need, right? Like, there are just people out there.
It works for them.
Yeah. And I know, put it like this, I know for a fact that some people have asked me, like, could you ever work a 9 to 5 again? I said, yeah, I could. Mm-hmm. But I mean, there's some conditions here. Like, someone's gonna have to throw me the bag. Like, right. You're gonna have to throw me enough money, because I'm not gonna talk about my financials on air, but it's like, yo, there have been times while we have been freelancing where I'll look at a check that I get, and the first thing that I do in my head is think about how many hours I would have had to have worked
Every
at
time.
my previous job in order to get that.
You can't not think about that. You can't not think about it if you've come from it. Like if we straight out of college or university just did this, that wouldn't be a thought. Because you're like, I make what I make.
Yeah.
But when you've done the 9 to 5, it's like,
Oh my god.
every time I make this scenario example,
Yeah.
I always say it, and I always explain it this way. It's that the comparison of what I'm doing now
Yeah.
versus when I worked for someone was like, if I'm working for somebody, they have a wad of cash
Yeah.
and they lick their fingers to make sure there's grip to peel 120 out of that wad and make sure it's, you know when they hold it, like,
They're not too stuck together.
yeah, it's just one. Here you go for your time.
Yeah.
And then they pocket that wad. That's what it felt like to work a day job.
Yeah.
Now, there's no one delegating how much of that wad I get. I say it's gonna be this much or it's gonna be this much, and that's it. And the amount of time you put into working, like day jobs are, everyone knows the whole point of working with someone is they basically use you to do things they don't want to do, and they want to pay you the least they can to make most for them. That's a business mindset, right?
Yeah.
But the problem with that is you can't, like, we're no longer exchanging time for money anymore. Like, when you're working a day job, it's like you're basically putting a number on your life span.
Yeah.
These 80 hours for the next 2 weeks is worth this amount
Of money.
according to you.
Yeah.
Or what we're doing now, these 80 hours can be worth whatever goddamn amount I want it to be, as long as I put the work in.
Yeah.
It's not me just throwing numbers in the air. Like, we're busting our ass off. But I would rather that trade-off, that you can turn these 80 hours into any amount you want.
Yeah.
The catch is you have to fucking slave for it.
Yeah.
Or you can have someone else tell you that these 80 hours are worth this.
Worth this much. Yeah, like you can't
I have no problem slaving for that shit.
Yeah.
If I had that opportunity. That's just me.
Yeah, prime example, I had this one client where I pretty much had to bust my ass for a month and a half. It involved a lot of like driving around and traveling, taking pictures, editing, all that shit. So it was a solid month and a half of work, and I got paid over half of what I made in a year.
In that month and a half.
You know how fucked that is? Actually, do you actually understand like how ridiculous that is?
You know what a year of work is? 1 year of work? 365 rotated days.
I'm not stupid, Like I worked for it's not like I was working like a shit job. Like, I had some good jobs, and I made more than half of what I made in a year in a month. And you expect me to go back to work for you?
Who expects you?
Fuck out of here. Yeah, it's not happening.
I don't expect you.
No, it's not happening. So my point is, I just feel like if there's anything that people should take away from us is that, look, not everyone...
We're getting paid, baby.
Yeah, we're getting money. But not everyone can go free. Not everyone can do freelance, right? Not everyone has a thing where they're like, okay, I can do this.
Ethic, bro. There's a work ethic.
There's a work ethic, but if there's something you're going to take away from it, is like, don't get too comfortable. Because trust me, it's very easy to, fall into the 2-week paycheck and then say, all right, I want to delegate this much money aside and then all this type of stuff. But you could very well be working your time at a day job that is not doing you anything. And if you take a risk, you might find another day job that is much better for you, which may lead you to figure out a whole bunch of other shit. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Anytime I hear people talk shit about freelancers and all this type of stuff, my immediate response to any of those people, especially the ones that work 9 to 5 that like to shit on us, is, you still have to ask your boss to take off time.
I think that is probably the hardest, most difficult reason why I wouldn't go back. I can go back.
Like, we were just talking about going to Japan.
I genuinely and truthfully don't know how I'd react to having a boss again and being like, I'm gonna go to Paris next week because I just wanted to shoot some stuff with some friends, and my boss being like, no. What do you mean no? Like I feel like I get fired that day.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that day I'd be like, no, I already booked the flight.
Yeah.
Or you're gonna have to cancel it because we need you.
Yeah.
No,
it's not happening.
no, I guess I'm fired. Like I think like I'm at the point where I'm almost spoiled. The freedom has spoiled me. Like no one will want to hire me as an employee again because I'd be like, but you go on trips.
Yeah.
So why can't I go on trips?
You have to basically pay me enough and be okay with the fact that I'll just want to go traveling sometimes of the year. If I wouldn't even be,
can I work from? Oh
yes,
if you allow me, if you allow me to work,
if they let me travel while working, easy.
If you're gonna give me a salary that like you have some set hours, so I know I'm getting paid, and I have the freedom, if need be, I'm not confined to these walls.
Yeah,
$150K. I'll see you on Monday. Like
I'll see you then.
Because like, don't get me wrong, it also had to be something I enjoy.
Yeah.
Because I think that is the biggest take. From all of this. Because let's say I had a 9 to 5, right now that allowed me to do exactly what I'm doing right now. Like they're like, we're gonna hire you 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Between the hours of 9 to 5 Monday to Friday, you're either gonna be shooting a wedding, a corporate event, a sports game, possibly shooting for Nike sometimes, doing this for Air Canada a couple times. We're going to send you different places to just shoot, edit how you want to edit. You know, we have complete creative control. We just need these to be knocked off. Yeah. But you have to be here Monday to Friday. Yeah. I'm technically doing that right now. Yeah. But the only difference is I'm determining what I get paid. Yeah. But if it was an amount that I was comfortable with, and they said this is your job itinerary. Yeah. I might do that. Yeah. Now that doesn't exist for me. Yeah. Like I don't have a job, and there's no job out there that I know of that is allowing me to do exactly what I'm doing right now and pay me a rate that I want. Yeah. And give me the freedom to do what I want to do. So it's not necessarily about the 9 to 5. The bigger thing is when you're doing something you genuinely love. Yeah. Obviously, everyone keeps saying it doesn't feel like work, right? It doesn't feel like I'm working. It's a lot of work in terms of the effort and the stuff you have to put in, but it doesn't feel like I'm like, oh my god, like gotta wake up at 9. Like, I'm not upset. Like I haven't been upset all year. Yeah. I haven't been upset. I haven't been like, oh, like I haven't that feeling of just not having to resent or grunt. Yeah. Or like your alarm goes off in the morning, you're like, fuck. Yeah. Like I haven't had one of those all year. You know how freeing that is? Like I can't even explain it to you.
It's very freeing. It's very freeing. Because, like, speaking of the trips, you know, like, we had talked about it before, how I went away. Yeah. Or did I even talk about it on the last podcast?
No, you didn't go yet.
Okay, so basically,
okay.
I thought I brought up that I was
going. You're going on a cruise. Yeah, you're going on a cruise.
So anyway, I went on this cruise with Royal Caribbean. Because I was shooting for this like filthy rich like family. Yeah. And then I ended up taking some photos for Royal Caribbean as well. But just even using that as a prime example, there's no way if I was working a 9 to 5, I could take that gig. I'd have to quit my job to take that gig. Right. Right. And it's like, if I was too comfortable in a 9 to 5, I'd probably be like,
I can't do it.
I can't do the gig. So I'm sorry. Yeah. I can't get the time off.
Sorry.
You know how fucked up that is?
You have to go without me.
That's retarded. Like, I don't know.
Miami? Oh, man. Honduras?
Bro, I went to places
Sorry, you have to go without me.
Yeah. Aside from Miami, I went to places I never would have.
Where'd you end up going? All the places, you remember?
So we went to Honduras. It started in Miami, then it went to Honduras, then it went to Cozumel in Mexico, then another place in Mexico, I can't remember the name, and then the Bahamas. Yeah. And
sorry, you can't go.
Yeah, can't do it.
I gotta be at work on Tuesday. They need me. It's busy.
And you know what's gonna happen when you get to work on Tuesday? You're just gonna be sitting at the desk.
Hate it. And you're gonna hate it so much more because you know where you could have been at this moment. And then you see your boys posting. Yeah. And you're like, I could actually be right there.
Like, I could be right there.
Right there. And it's not even fear of missing out, because like people talk about FOMO and all that shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, like I could have been. No, I could have been there.
Yeah.
And paid.
Yeah.
It's not just, oh, I could have been with my friends.
Yeah.
No, I would have been there enjoying life.
Money.
And paid.
Yeah.
But now I'm not enjoying my life and getting paid less. Because I'm scared. Because I'm comfy. Because life is hard.
Never again, man. Never again. So tell me about the Air Canada gig that you had.
Wow. Yeah, so it's funny. So Air Canada, thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to shoot for you guys. Air Canada has, I guess, a yearly program where it's actually a really, really great program where they basically, they wait at arrivals in the airport for the entire day. They set up like a whole, a whole stand and everything set up with bears, flowers, and the photo booth. They have camera crew, film crew doing a commercial as well with the footage, and then they had me just taking stills.
Okay.
So, but what the event or the project is, they basically wait at arrivals. They have a service coordinator, a pilot, and a flight attendant. That they pick out for the day, and they basically also have little helpers that go out and talk to people in the arrivals. Find out their story. Like everyone's obviously just waiting at arrivals for whoever to come to land. So you talk to people who are waiting in line, like, who are you waiting for? Like, what's your story? Like, are you waiting for like family, friend, partner, whatever? So some of the stories are like some people, just refugees that are coming that have never been to Canada before. Some people, their loved one haven't been to Canada in 5 years. Some people just they haven't seen their sister ever, and now their first time they're coming from their country don't even speak English. Some people came from Colombia that can't even speak English. A little girl got sent on their own. Like, crazy stories came. So the best stories that they brought back to the group, they basically rewarded those families with 2 free tickets to fly anywhere that Air Canada flies.
That's wild.
So, which is nuts.
But
it was just crazy to actually witness it, because like everyone's confusing, because you come out the airport and then there's this big Air Canada like pop-up thing, and they're like, what's going on? Like, oh, come take a picture. And people are like, okay. And you get there, like, want to take a picture? Like, yeah. And then when they're like, well, this is the family that they get tickets to. When they give it to them, they're like, here's your picture, here's your gift. Oh, what are these 2 little things? And they're like, they're looking at it like, oh, it's just paper. And they're like, read it. And they read this, it just says like, oh, thank you for, being part of this program. Air Canada welcomes you to, fly with us to anywhere around the world. And they're like, wait, what? And when they explain it, they're like, you just get 2 tickets, 2 round-trip tickets to fly anywhere Air Canada flies. It takes like a second where they're like, wait, what? Anywhere? Like, it's like, anywhere they fly? Anywhere. And then people would just start screaming and just like, oh my God. Like, it's just cool to see that develop from like, they're confused to like, oh my God, tears, like burst into tears. Like, thank you so much. Like,
because it probably means so much
to them, right? And like some of the flights, people, like there's one family that only the grandma could come. So they asked them for the story. Like, the grandma came from Japan. I think it was Japan, either Japan or one of the places. Japan or Philippines, one of them, I can't remember. But they came, and they had a little girl with her, and they're like, yeah, we give the tickets to them, because basically their story was the grandma come, but the grandfather couldn't come because they couldn't afford it. So when they gave the family tickets, the kids started screaming like, oh my God, grandma can come now. Like, it was just really a heartfelt moment. It was pretty crazy to even be a part of that. But Air Canada took my pictures today and they posted them, which is
that's wicked, man.
Crazy. Like, I quit my job this year, and now Air Canada's like, we even shooting for Air Canada. Like, it's online. It's hard to like, Instagram and things are so fast. And people just have such short attention spans that, especially if they don't know you personally, it doesn't really matter. So they just, Air Canada picture, cool. Like, bro, Air
Canada, that's massive.
People don't shoot for regular people don't shoot for Air Canada. I'm not saying I'm not a regular person, but like, I still feel like I'm fucking regular. I haven't been doing this that long, so I'm like, now I have work in Air Canada, one of the biggest airlines in our country.
It's the biggest one in our country.
The biggest. It's crazy to me. So it's just surreal. But on top of that, funny thing is I actually got double booked today, or yesterday, sorry, to shoot a birthday party as well. And I got booked for the birthday party first. And then Air Canada booked me after. I'm not doing that birthday party.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So, a good thing is I started a program called KOA Pros.
Yeah.
If you guys are following me, you guys probably saw me posting it for the last couple of days. But what that program allowed me to do was send someone to go shoot that.
Yeah.
So I took a cut off of that because I'm going to edit the photos for the person. For the client, they get it. And I also get to pay that person who had no job before.
Yeah.
He was, I think he worked for UPS.
Yeah.
Like his day job is UPS.
Yeah.
He shoots on the side. So I gave him like a bill to do the shoot.
Yeah.
He probably didn't make a bill for the day. But the fact I can do, like, I got paid from Air Canada, so I don't need to take so much money off of a birthday shoot.
True.
And if I can give that to him, and not only give it to him, instead of me being like, oh, sorry.
You're out of
like,
luck.
Just,
like, you're providing them with a solution.
There's a solution. And I don't even feel good. Like, that would make me feel weird to be like, I know I booked your birthday party, but Air Canada's bigger than your birthday party. So, like,
nah, you're right.
I'm not a piece of shit. Like, you know what I mean? So I felt that was a program which is really, honestly, super crazy how well it's been doing, and people have been feedback has been amazing. But I just think it's a solution that I feel is necessary because instead, like, as much as people believe that, you know, clients are yours and like you own this, or you own this skill, you own this location, you don't own shit. Nothing is yours in this shit. Like, and
you're right.
There's nothing wrong with letting other people do work for you. Nothing wrong with giving clients to other people. Like, you don't lose anything. You're not. And if someone's good, for example, to be short with this, let's say you and I both shoot, which we both do. Yeah. And you have a client and I have a client. And we both say, you know what, I'm going to shoot your client today. Yeah. And you're going to shoot my client today. Yeah. Right? If, let's say, you shoot my client. Yeah. And they're like, yo, I actually like some more stuff better. Yeah. Perfect. And if they stop booking with me, let's say. Yeah. Why am I mad at you? Yeah. If they're like, you know what, I think some more stuff is actually better than Ryan's. And then they start booking with you in the future and you get it, and then they become your client. Why am I mad at you?
Yeah, you shouldn't be.
Who should I be mad at?
Yourself.
I shouldn't be mad at anybody, but who should I be mad at? Myself. Yeah. Not because I because I gave them to you. Like, don't get it twisted. Don't get mad at yourself because I shouldn't have given it to Zamora. Yeah. No, mad at yourself because that means you're not good enough. Yeah. Or you're not, or you weren't as good as you thought you were. Yeah. Either way, it's a learning experiment. It's not a envy thing. It's not a jealousy thing. If anything, you learn something. Yeah. And that client going to Zamora instead of me now just pushes me more. Yeah. Or it should, if you're really about this shit. Yeah. It shouldn't make you be like, oh, he stole my client. That whole mentality is fucked. Yeah. So this is my plan to get rid of all that shit and put it to rest, because I can send people to anybody I want that I select. And to be honest, I'm confident in my work that they can work with that person and work with me, and I'm not going to lose that person. Yeah. And if I do, that's fine. Yeah. I'm glad I can help that photographer now. Yeah. That's just me. I don't feel threatened by anybody. And I think that's kind of why I'm in such a good space, because I don't give a shit about competition. I don't give a shit about holding skills and knowledge to myself. Like, for what? Yeah. You know what I mean? But
nah, you're right. Yeah. It's a very good mindset to have, to be completely honest with you.
I think it's freaking rare as hell, though.
Do you think it's rare, that trait?
It's rare as hell. Bro, and it's not even just in this industry. It's in anything. Yeah. Like, a lot of messages I've got from people is like, wow, like, it's crazy that, like, you're one of the only people who would ever do this. Or, wow, like, the Toronto mentality is such a crab in the fucking barrel mentality. Like, I feel like it's something that everyone's aware of and just started to accept and then became that way themselves. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it's just been a trickle down effect where it's like, well, that's just how everyone is. So, like, why would I share? You know what I mean? And then
it's crazy though, because everyone, no matter where Jamie and I were in Montreal like 2 weeks ago, and we met people out there who were basically saying that they basically thought that Montreal was how everyone describes Toronto to be, where it's like crab in the bucket mentality, and they were like, oh, like Toronto's the place to be.
That's what they think.
Yeah, and I'm like, bro, it's the same everywhere you go. Like no matter where you go in the world, no one likes their own city. Right? Like
it's just everything's better out somewhere else.
Everything's better somewhere else. Everyone has some type of issue with their city, and I'm just like, man, like I agree that sometimes the reason why you probably think that, you know, your city is the way it is because you've just been there for so long. Anyone who follows me, they should probably know by now that if I leave, my content just goes up because I'm in a new place. I'm more likely to shoot things. I'm more excited to shoot stuff, right? But if I'm not doing client work, right? If I'm here, I'm doing client work, that's different. But if I'm here, the rate at which I used to just go out and shoot my own stuff has like gone down dramatically, right? Because I'm like, whatever. If I'm
in Toronto,
new place, I'm gonna shoot as much as I can. So I think the mentality is the same with people as well. You know, you are in an environment for so long. People tend to, you know, start catching feelings about other people in the industry. Like, I don't know if you thought about this, but I'm willing to bet that there has to be people that are salty about the rate at which you and I have like gone through shit this year.
Of course there are.
Right?
That's okay.
And I'm like petty, so I've definitely thought about it. But it's like, come on. I mean, anytime people approach me with certain shit, I'm just like, bro, this is what I do. I'm like, I tell them, I'm like, this is what I've been doing. This is how I go about it. Right. I make no secret about telling people exactly what I do. Right? And I think they're shocked when I tell them because they expect me to not tell them, give them the.
What do you mean? Wait, what are you referring to?
So in general, when people are like, how are you doing this? Like, like how you getting stuff with Nike, or like, how'd you do this? I'm just like, I just post shit and I just make sure I'm like timely with my work, you know, because those are the biggest things. I think having worked in corporate, like you and I both have, two things. We worked in corporate and we were both athletes. So I think being former athletes, having to find something new to do, I mean, we're replacing the habits that we had when we played sports with cameras or like, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, I have to do this. I'm only gonna get better if I do it, right?
You're not gonna be better. You're not gonna get better at boxing, chilling. Or soccer. I want to be better. I want to play. I want to have more minutes.
Yeah, and then on top of that, having worked in corporate, we understand, you know, putting it like blatantly, how to actually talk to corporate people, which unfortunately a lot of freelance people don't know how to do. True. Right. So you know, I just told them.
A big part of it is like even how you respond to an email. You can kill your fucking chances by someone reaching out to you and you responding just not properly.
Even if
or timely.
If you respond,
I know people don't even check their email. Oh my I know people like, oh, I don't check my email. What? Like when I see people's email is like 97 unread, I'm like, that would drive me nuts. If I see 3 unread, I'm in it. I'm like, get rid of that bold number. Maybe like I hate seeing it.
I'll give you a prime example. Yeah. Okay. There was I can't remember the name of the company, but essentially they wanted to interview me for a job, right? Doing production work. Right. And I don't think I would have taken the job, but it was kind of one of those cases that you and I you were just talking about, where it's like, it's exactly what I'm doing now, but the only difference is I get a salary. That's not what really gets me. Is, you know, the fact that I get benefits and shit like that, right? So I remember talking to this girl about it, and she's like, oh, like, yeah, I'll get my boss to hit you up, blah, blah. Didn't hear anything, so I just kept doing my thing. Everything's been fine. And one day, like weeks later, I'm going through my junk mail and I see an email from this lady, right? And literally in my heart, I was like,
it's been the junk the whole time.
Oh my God. And the reason I was so upset wasn't because I didn't interview for this job and then blah, blah, blah. Because I wasn't mad that I didn't get it. I was upset because of how that makes me look.
Yeah, he just didn't respond.
Right? So then I ended up responding, being like, I sent them screenshots of
like,
where I was.
It's in my junk mail.
In my junk mail. Like, I'm not that type of person because Toronto's also very small. And that's the other thing. Like, you kind of have to carry yourself like everyone knows who you are, or they will eventually. So, like you said, last year we were in one place. This year, this guy is shooting for Air Canada. Bro, fucking I had Pusha T post a video that was involved. Bro, Pusha T, like, what? Come on. You know how funny that is? It's like, it's hilarious.
If you could, a lot of people ask me as well, so I'll ask it here on the podcast for both of us.
Yeah.
If you could equate both, because which is also pretty fucking sick.
Yeah.
I'll say, for two people to, one, not only quit their jobs, because we both have two very different lives.
Yeah.
Or we both are working two very different jobs.
Yeah.
But for two people to quit their jobs almost around the exact same time.
Yeah.
And then I don't think we've crossed paths in terms of jobs more than twice or once, maybe.
Oh, you mean like you and I have been on the same thing?
Like, booked for the same thing. Like, you have, whatever you're working on has nothing to do with that. Like, which just goes to prove when people say, like, oh, this market's so saturated. Oh, there's not enough work out here.
You can find anything.
If both of us quit around this, called the same time, or 2 months apart.
Yeah.
Both do similar things.
Yeah.
And have our own client bases.
Yeah.
That don't even cross paths.
Yeah.
That's not luck, first of all. That's not complaining, for one, or for two. And what do you think separated us when we made the decision versus people who, one, have been doing it for a whole... Some have been doing it for years. There's photographers that I've been following for a very long time that have never shot for Air Canada, would love to. Yeah. There's photographers, videographers I know for a very long time who's never shot video for Nike. Or never shot, anything for any big or who never get booked to go on a cruise. Yeah. Like, but they've been shooting forever.
Yeah.
They might even be better than both of us. So what? What made us? Why? Like, because there is something. I know people listening, like, they just see us doing these things or hear us talking about these things, but what do you think it? Like, I can say what I think it is for you, because I can't. Yeah. I can only say so much about myself, and maybe you can say about me. But what do you think separates you and I from the average creative? I'll say.
I think
not even just call you a photographer. I'm not call you photographer. We do a whole bunch of other things, but from the average creative,
I think it's our personalities. Honest to God, like, I mean, people work hard. Like, I know for a fact there are people who work just as hard as we do, if not harder. But I have to think it's our personalities. Like, even people who've been listening to this podcast from the jump understand that we're pretty open, like, with everything that has been going on in our lives. We talk about everything. We're very straightforward. I think our personalities show that we are the type of people who, if we like really want something, we're gonna do whatever we need to do to make it happen.
Finagle.
Yeah, we're gonna finagle to make it happen. Like, it's just putting it that simply, because there are some very talented people that I know, right, who may have around the same followers or like more followers, all this shit. There's some crazy talented people I know, but what separates them is they are in their own heads too much. That's what I truly believe. Like, I know a girl, and Jamie met her the other day, who's a very talented shooter. She's got social anxiety. Like, when she goes out in like public spaces, like, she doesn't really like look people in the eye when she's talking to them and all that type of stuff. But she's crazy talented. Yeah. Right? And I'm just like, maybe that's something that's holding this person back. I have no issue talking to people. Like, I go out, I'll talk to anyone. I have no issue doing that type of stuff. So I think those are some of the things that really separate us two. I think the fact that we've been very open about the process of freelancing. Yes. I think that's huge.
No one talks about it.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who
they act like, oh, I've been fired, but
there's a lot of people who don't talk about, either struggles or like the triumph. Like, a lot of people only talk about the triumphs of it, but it's like, come on, like you and I both know that there are some days where you're just like, fuck, like I'm gonna be sitting in front of this computer for hours.
Yeah.
Like I might not see daylight, but it's like, you know, you just do what you got to do. There's a few people I know who are just as good as us, if not better. And once again, I think it's because of their personality. One of the first people that come to mind is me is Josh, right? Like
Which Josh?
Customatic. Josh, granted, has
He's doing well. He's doing well though.
He's doing very well. But Josh is like, how do I put it? To me, Josh is like one of the OGs in the sense that he's literally been.
I've known him since high school.
Yeah,
He's had a camera literally since high school.
Since high school, like he's been doing this since high school, and you know, even though he's been doing it for so long, his personality is great. Like you talk to him, and he's not afraid to talk to you about like shit that's gone on in the game, or you know, ways to get around like certain things. Like, and this is a guy that's been doing it forever. So from his perspective, it might look like, oh man, the market is getting so saturated now because it's so easy for people to buy cameras and like do photography and video work. But he's like, no, I'm good. Like,
he knows what he does.
He knows exactly what he does and how to do it and what to do from there. I'm just like, okay, cool. Like, so I think that's what really separates us from most people. Because you're right. Like, there are times where I see some people who have been freelancing for a long time, and I'm like, why are you guys still in that same position?
And they're watching. You know they're watching.
Yeah.
I think, personality, I think it equates a lot to personality as well, like you said. But, well, in addition to that, I was talking about it earlier to somebody, I can't remember who it was, but I basically was saying, like, it actually, like, back in the day, like, we're adjusting to the times.
Yeah.
We're all adjusting to the times. Back in the day, there was a requirement where it's like, if those who have skill, get job. That's it. Skill equals job.
Yeah.
That was the only way to get jobs back in the day.
Yeah.
If you're not skilled at this task or this trade, not hire you. Period. I don't care if you're a nice guy. Can you do this? No, not yet. No, you're not hired. Now we're in such a expanded and resourceful, time that skill and the requirement for high-end skill and expertise isn't as required to get jobs. If we're being honest, it's not. Like, you don't have to be the best, the only person who could shoot this picture. Like, you don't have to be that because there's so much demand and there's so much out there, and not everyone even cares about the best anymore. Even though, and I'm sure that might even frustrate people who train their whole lives to be the best, and people don't even care about that anymore. They care about good. They care about content. They care about things being acceptable. But not necessarily the best anymore. And the reason I bring this up is because I think I'm very good. I think you're very good. I know I'm not the best. And I'm okay with that. But I see what you're saying. Why we get jobs, why you and I are doing so well at this, is not because we're the best. You're not the best guy with a drone ever. I'm not the best guy with a camera ever. I know that, and you know that. Why are we getting jobs? Is because people fucking like us.
That's true.
That's it.
No, you're right. You're
right. Like, if I could give anyone advice, be likable. And that doesn't mean like start kissing people's asses. No,
like, doing everything.
Just be straightforward, be honest, be yourself, and be likable. Be fun. When I have shoots, when I'm done shoots, people are like, "Yo, like, I can't wait to see these. These are sick." Like, I'm not just shoot. Thanks, you'll see these next week. Like, you can do that as a photographer because I guess your job is to is to shoot. The bare minimum, your job is to shoot your client and go home and provide your product. But there's so much more to being a photographer now, or to being any type of creative now, that it goes further than just the job. You have to build a relationship, you have to build a friendship, you have to build rapport with the person. That's what builds you. The amount of jobs I've got this year, easily 80% of my work this year is referrals. Easily. When I say easily, Easily. As in, like, I'm not, like, even, I could even probably say 90%.
Yeah.
Meaning 10% of that is me actually marketing. Like, me actually being like, here's my portfolio.
Yeah.
But maybe 5%.
Yeah.
Where I've actually been like, this is my portfolio work. This is what I'm good at. If you want to book, blah, blah. I've probably done that maybe once to a big client.
Yeah.
Because they were asking, like, what can you do, blah, blah. And I gave it to a couple of them. Yeah. Made a portfolio for someone else who, my friend's like, oh, he wants a portfolio. Can you send something? And I've sent a couple. Yeah. Other than that, I'm not sending my portfolio.
Yeah.
I'm not, like, sending out mixtapes, like, come work with. I'm not doing that, if I'm being honest. I'm not. So why are you getting work?
Yeah.
People fucking like us.
Yeah.
And it's not even, like, it's not like we have to try and get them to like us. We're being ourselves. We're making people comfortable. And bigger than the photography, like, if people fall in love with you some more, it doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah.
How many times have you met someone where they're in jobs and you're like, how'd you get here? Oh, I met this guy at some party and you happen to be the president.
Yeah.
And he just said, yo, you want a job?
Yeah.
You have no fucking credentials for that. But you met the president and he likes you.
He likes you.
So now you work for the company.
Yeah.
How many times do you think that's happened in the world? Where a man brushed your shoulder with the president, he's just at the party, he brushed your shoulder, talking jokes, dapping up, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm actually the president of Fortune 500 company. Where do you work? Nah, I'm actually looking for a job right now. You want one?
Yeah.
And the guy's like, yeah, what do you do? I don't have much experience. That's okay. I'll do, like, if the president said that's okay, that means there's people who go to school for years and will never get a position because the president doesn't like him. Not because they're not qualified. Yeah. Not because they didn't go to school or do all that shit. Because they didn't brush shoulders with the right person. And because that person didn't actually like you.
Bro, I worked. Prime example. Like, I worked in a public relations firm for 3 years. Mm-hmm. And I got that job without having finished my public relations program. And I literally got that because someone I knew who works for the company was like, oh, I think you'd be good for this. Like, come apply. I applied and went in person, did everything I needed to do, hired me.
Right. So what does that tell you?
It tells you that. It tells you they like me. Like, that's what it is.
But the bigger scale, what does that tell you? What people are missing is the fact that if people can give you jobs, either hire you or want to work with you from liking you, how the fuck could being selfish into yourself make you more successful?
Yeah.
How can that even make sense?
Yeah, it can.
That's why when people are like, oh, like, you know, people don't want to share their skills or share this or share that. Do you understand that, like, it does, like, when people reach out to me and I give them advice or feedback or whatever, I'm not doing it because I'm like, you know what, I really hope he likes me. I'm just being a fucking good person. But what happens from that is that person now is like, wow, like, they might have reached out to 5 people somewhere and be like, hey, I just have some questions about this. And they're like, no, I don't have time for that. Yeah. And that person's like, hey, I'll get back to you. And that person's like, hey, and I might be the one person that I'm like, they're like, oh, can you help me with this? I'm like, yeah, sometime. Cool. Help you with that. Yeah. That person now, whoever he knows, that person will vouch for you.
Yeah, like you.
Regardless.
Yeah, like going back to, like, because our whole podcast is about relationships, right? Like, I remember years ago when I was working at Apple, at the same time I was working with my ex, right? And one of my best friends to this day, like, she's basically like my older sister, this girl named Kiati, right? My ex did not like this girl. And I remember thinking to myself, like, you know, you work for this company, like, we all work for this company, like, you never want to burn bridges unless you absolutely have to, right? Because I'm a firm believer of the world being so small that you just never know who someone knows who you're going to run into, right? Fast forward a couple of years, I'm pretty sure she's still working for the company, my ex, but Kiati's like a very high up, like, in the world of Apple, right? So it's like, you like, what if you still have this animosity towards this person? That's a bridge that you burned right there, right? And it's like, another prime example, when I went on this cruise, one of my friends, Felicia, she saw that I was on this cruise. She's like, yo, one of my friends is on that boat, but he's like one of the performers in, like, the plays for the whole cruise. Yeah. That should tell you already, like, how small this world is. Like, you can't really go. I'd like to
Someone's on the boat.
Yeah, someone's on the boat.
At any given time.
Yeah, I like to operate knowing that, you know, chances are someone knows you or knows of you. And this whole thing about us being likable, I have to ask you a question, like in terms of like from a relationship standpoint. Have you ever wondered if you being likable has ever caused problems in a relationship for you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Always. Not always. Many times.
Like how so? Like how does it cause problems?
So,
because for me, it is like a huge benefit to be likable. Obviously, to be likable for what you and I do, right? Because my last relationship, that was a problem. Like I couldn't be likable and do what I do.
Right.
So it was like I'm like, what the fuck?
It's
like, what the fuck do I do? Now I'm in a position, fortunately, with Jamie, where it's like that's no longer the case. Right. But it's like
so the issues that happen is obviously with females.
Yeah.
It's with being likable with guys doesn't matter. But when a lot of girls like you, even if there's no necessary like intimacy involved, but when you're likable to many people, like not just like ex-girl, like just literally just girls in general, what happens is they get used to you. So it's not to say that they're even crossing boundaries, but it may be so innate to them to just like hit you up for something. Or just like out of like, oh, like I don't even like you like that. Like I'm just like, I run ideas by you because you just been that guy. Like it, not because I want to be with you. I have an idea, can I run it by you? Yeah, super innocent. But once you get into a relationship, those super innocent run by you things like, why is the person running by you? Oh wait, we've always been like that. Nothing's ever happened. Yeah, we're not like. I've been that person for her. Like, you don't have to be that person for her. Like, I know I don't have to be. Yeah. But it's just been what it's been. So that's where the complication comes, because like, how do you now tell a person that you generally have been friends with and you've been that person for them for so long or however long it's been, you have to stop because these conversations are making the person you're with uncomfortable. Nothing to do with you though. Like, and then it makes things very messy when the person that you're with doesn't understand those type of interactions. If it does get messy, I understand where if lines are being crossed, definitely. But if it's just someone that just taught, like, there's only men and women on Earth. Like,
you know what it is?
There's only men and women.
I feel like don't get it twisted. Like, I completely understand where you're coming from, right? Because for me as a guy, if I being likable, sometimes I hate it. Because I'm just like, I know that this might cause an issue, right? So I actively try and avoid those situations. But at the same time, it's like I have to ask myself, being likable, if there are women who, like you said, that just get used to you, do you feel like you kind of... No, I'm not saying we should never not listen to our girlfriends, but what I'm saying is, do you feel like when a girl says, okay, like, I know what she's really trying to do. I know what she's trying to get. The same way how a guy would be like, come on, like, he's not really your friend. Like, you know what I mean?
When it's really not the case?
Yeah, like, for the complete opposite, right? If a woman's saying that to us in those situations, why is it, do you think, that sometimes as men, like, do you really think we know what the woman is thinking? Or do you think we're just being willfully ignorant?
Are you asking if we're being naive to the women?
Yes. Like, do you think men can be just as naive to women as we know that women can be naive to men?
So, I know exactly what to say to that.
You understand what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. And I think I'll definitely say there definitely are occurrences where men are naive to that. Existing.
They know.
They know. But I also feel that men, like, because women are less pushy per se than men, it's easier to maintain. Like, I feel like as a guy, if there's a girl that likes you, for example, but you're like, no, like, we just been like this, blah blah blah. If she does actually deep down like you, there's a very rare percentage of women who will push, even if they do. Like, so they may actually like you, but feel so stupid to like I'll just keep it like, I'll keep it like this because I don't want to be shut down. I don't want to mix up. Like, girls care. Girls actually care. I don't want to be a home wrecker. I don't want them to feel weird. I'm just gonna pretend like I'll just keep what we are and just be that person. Guys don't go fuck. They don't care. And that's why
that's the difference.
That's why men are like, nah, he's not your friend. Because we know. Okay, the first couple of conversations, he might be like, yeah, like, how's work? Oh, okay, cool. This is cool. And then it's gonna slide into like, yo, you should chill sometime. We should do this. Oh, what are you up to? Oh, okay. Like, it becomes those, like, he starts testing. We know guys do that.
It's
like, I feel like girls aren't so prompt to start testing you.
I would love to just see what a women's group chat is like one day. Because here's the thing, like, I think people listening to this podcast would think that, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, there was a point in my life where I was a savage. Like, we all went through that period of time. But even if I didn't go through that firsthand, I could tell you, just based on knowing other guys, like having male friends, that like, this is how the system works, right? Like, I don't have to have lived it myself to know, right? So,
and it's not a theory; it's a system.
It's a system. Like, this is a proven system. This is what happens. This is how it works. So if I tell you, like, this is what's happening, this is exactly what's happening. I don't know what it's like. I don't know what the women's system is like, and I'm pretty sure, like, there are women who tell me, like, yeah, like, we definitely do that, or we go about it this way. But I don't know. I just think a lot of us like to think that we have it under control. You know what I mean? But the moment there's like some type of crack and you see some type of movement, you're like, okay, this is what's been going on the entire time. You know, for me, I always just make it very clear. Like, if it's not already clear that I have a girlfriend from my social media, I'll bring it up somehow in conversations. So it's like, there's no way it can be said. Like, I never.
Oh, I didn't know.
No, you knew. Come on. Let's not be stupid here. So I don't know. But
speaking of relationships, we were asked by one of our, I'll call her guests. She hasn't been on the show, but I'll just call you guys guests. You guys are all guests to the podcast every time you guys tune in. Whether you guys are here in spirit or in person, you guys are still our guests. But we were asked by one of our guests to discuss abuse in relationships, and I don't know if we ever have. So I think that's probably why she asked us to.
Yeah, I don't think we have.
Because neither me or Zamora are abusive men. So I feel like it's been something we just haven't discussed because it's not our nature. But just because it's not our nature doesn't mean it's not something that is prevalent and happening. Prevalent. I like that word.
Prevalent.
I actually take pride in my vocabulary, guys. If you guys follow my pages, I tend to try to use different words in my captions that people aren't used to. So just to be a fucking asshole. But you guys go Google shit. Abuse in relationships is very prevalent and still very common. Just we don't hear about it or see it. It does happen. But my take on that, it's obviously, like, she didn't really give us much context. I'm not sure if it's something she's dealing with or a friend or whatever, but to give it some context, I'll create my own. I feel like physical abuse. What did you say? Physical? Whether it's physical or mental, we'll do both because they're both equally damaging. I agree. I feel. But physical abuse, obviously, men in most cases are stronger than women. That's whether girls want to argue if you want. We're built differently. We're stronger. Just take it. Like, I know there's gonna be women out there like, no, that sure there's some maga skinny men out there, but he's probably still stronger than you.
Like a skinny.
Like,
Yeah, I know
but
what
he's,
you mean. Yeah.
but he's probably still stronger than you.
Yeah.
Whether you think you're bigger than him or not, he's probably still stronger than you because men have these hidden powers. But this goes to say that it's like we'll put on the board. Everyone said this discussion at least that nobody should be hitting anybody. Everyone's always said that.
Yeah.
That shit doesn't happen.
Yeah.
We know that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
We can say no one should hit anybody. Yes, no one should hit anybody. But if a woman hits you, you definitely shouldn't hit her back.
Yeah.
You just definitely, and obviously if she doesn't hit you at all, you shouldn't be hitting her first. Period.
Are you sure we didn't talk about this?
We never talked about. I don't believe we talked about.
I feel like
have we?
I feel like on an early episode we might have talked about like the dynamics of certain abuse in relationships. Wow, she actually just messaged us saying like, she's like red flags to look for.
Oh, okay.
When first entering a relationship or during a relationship. Hold on, I'm gonna say we're responding. This is like live, so we're doing this. But no, I'm pretty sure we talked about the dynamic of it because, it really should go without saying. We don't condone physical or mental abuse in any way, shape, or form. I think for the life of me, it's such a hard concept. I genuinely don't understand what it would be like to like put my hands on a woman. You know what I mean? Yeah. I literally couldn't fathom that idea. The dynamic that I might have talked about on an earlier podcast was when we talk about like abuse where women are abusing men. Most of the time, if a woman is abusing a man, I'd say like 8 times out of 10 is like, it's like mental. That's how they're doing it, right? But I think I spoke about how we need to, and this is just my opinion, and I feel like it might be a hot take, but I feel like we need to teach more girls and like women as they grow up that they can't believe that no man will ever hit them, right? Because quite frankly, like there's some like fucked up dudes out there, right? So the reason I personally would like women to understand who are growing up that like, yo, there may actually be a guy that would hit you and you don't know. Sometimes you don't even know what the red flags are. Right. You don't. Sometimes a guy or a person can be completely normal and they just snap. They're totally different behind closed doors. And it's like, I need women to understand that they can't move around this life thinking that no man will never hit them because, and then take advantage of that to a certain extent.
Right. Like you can't hit me, so I'm going to.
Because I've seen cases where that has happened, where like a woman is like hit a guy, and then a guy has retaliated. Now, in my opinion, I don't think it's ever okay for that shit to happen, right? Because I just understand that, you know, if I as a man hit you, I could literally end your life, right? Like that. As scary as that sounds, that's just a fact. But at the same time, that I see this shit on social media all the time. There's some women who are hitting guys, doing all this type of shit, moving a certain way. And the guy just standing there and he's just taking it, right? And I'm just like, man, like this whole system is messed up. It just needs to be a thing where we.
And the thing is, now he feels like he has to take it.
Yeah, like you know what I mean?
Like she's hitting you, just like, come on. Like,
so either way, like I'm not here to like talk about like why. The other side of it, because I understand, like, we already established men should never hit women, blah, blah, blah. I just had to put that piece out there because I'm not even concerned about men who are retaliating at all. I'm concerned about the fact that literally in society, I think women are being told that guys are taught to never hit them and will never hit them. And I'm like, no, there are some guys out there who are fucking crazy. Yeah. So you should be aware of that shit, right? And in terms of red flags to look for, I think from a woman's perspective, if a guy has like other women in his life, like you should probably look at how he interacts with his mom or like his sister, right? You know, like I think in those situations it's very easy to
accurate representations of how we would act.
Yeah, like you know. Chances are, like, if a guy is, you know, disrespecting his own mom, to me, that's a red flag. Like, even as a guy, that's a red flag. If I see a guy talking shit to his mom or being disrespectful, okay, I'm like, okay, this is clear. There's clearly something wrong here,
Yeah.
you know, because literally he would not exist if this woman didn't give birth to him, you know? So, yeah, I understand there are times where, you know, our moms get on our nerves, but it's like, yo, how do you actually disrespect your mom, you know? Unless, even, like, you know, even, look, I understand there are situations people go through, but, like, yo, this is your mother. How do you disrespect her, right? So if I'm dating as a woman, if you're dating this guy and you see this, to me, that is a immediate red flag. I don't care how much you love him, how much you think you can change him. That's a red fucking flag.
Yeah.
That's the woman that brought him into this world. You're a woman that he met on the street.
I think,
you know, so
I think additionally, I mean, again, speaking obviously from opinion,
yeah,
I think a lot of abuse, mental and physical, stems from how men, well, we're talking about men on women for this example. I think it stems from how men react in arguments.
Yes.
Your man, husband, boyfriend, fiance, buddy that you're fucking on the side, whatever he is to you, no man should be yelling at you.
Yeah.
Like, if you're arguing in the debate or a discussion or whatever, you guys in an argument, cool, you can argue, be like, this is how I feel, this is how I feel. But if you're yelling at someone and it's constant, those are traits for either mental or physical abuse. Because, like, I don't yell. Like, if I'm like, to get me to yell at you, I have to be really angry.
Yeah, you have to be angry, not
And, like, it's not just like I'm annoyed. Like, to get someone to yell is actual anger, because they're so mad at you that they're just releasing. Right? And some people have the ability to bring that in and just internalize it, and some people externalize it and end up hating people. I think the level of anger for someone to yell at you has to be very high. And if that's a constant thing you're dealing with, one, I'd say as advice, cut that from the start. Not cut him off. I mean, like, cut that behavior from the start. Where it's like, listen, you're not going to yell at me. And I'm not going to yell at you. But if we're going to talk, we're going to talk. But if they can't control their temper or their emotion to the point that they have to yell when you guys have a discussion, I feel like that's room for dismissal from there. That's just me. Anyone that yells at when girls start going on, I'm like, we're not doing this. Like, I actually straight up say, we're not doing this yelling thing. Whenever you're done, let me know. Because I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to match you. Like, we're not doing that. So I feel like that's something that needs to be nipped in the bud from the start. In addition to that, you ever play fight?
I think Jeremy and I sometimes play fight.
Okay, so how do you draw the line with play fighting? How do you play fight? I'll ask. Like, is play fighting abuse?
No, like, if I'm I consider.
I'm being stupid, but I'm saying, like,
no, I consider
like, is play fighting? I know it's not.
I consider play fighting with Jamie when I'm like, you know, when I'm like tickling the shit out of her, or you know, like, it sounds so bad if I'm like pushing her and shit.
No, I know what you're saying.
Like, if she's trying to like get at me and I put my hand on her head so she can't reach me, like shit like that. Like, that's us play fighting.
So what's the limit?
I mean, anything above that, like, there's never
a
strike.
Never a close hand.
There's never a close hand. There's never an open hand. There's no strikes. There's nothing like.
See, I open hand because I'll slap asses. So that's open hand.
Okay.
Like,
okay.
Like,
I guess that
slap asses, slap leg. Whatever. Like. But never a fist. Like, never a fist. Ever. Nothing to the face. I've never done anything to the face. I feel like play fighting is healthy. If it's done properly. And you have to know. Like,
play fighting is a part of foreplay. That's why you say that, bro. Like, come on.
Sometimes
it is.
Sometimes you're just fucking around. Just like, move, man. Like, get out of here.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's a weird thing to even ask, but like, maybe you can answer it. How do you determine if you can play fight? Because it's not a conversation. It's not like, because not all relationships I've been in, I play fight with them. I feel like it's like a.
I think it's a personality thing. Like, I think that you don't. I definitely have never done play fighting with someone early into a relationship. It's always been like like a month or two in. Like, it's been a minute for me to understand like how this person is, what their humor is like how they move around, what they allow, and then it just happens naturally, right? But it's nothing. I'll never ever have done it right off the bat, right?
Like I play fight. Like I'll pillow fight, throw shit, like soft stuff, like just throw pillows or throw teddy bears or shit, or if they're beside me, just push her on the bed, like literally like 2-hand push, like. But it's even with play fighting, there's a level of restraint, like, and I think that's the part that separates play fighting from actual abuse, is the acknowledgement of your strength. Yeah. Like, I know my strength. Yeah. I know what I can, like, when men abuse women, they're fully aware of how strong they are.
Yeah, and they take advantage of that shit.
And not even take advantage, they don't care. Like, they're not even like, this will hurt. This might be too strong. Yeah. Like, they don't care. They know they're stronger than them, and they're like, I don't care. Yeah. I know I'm stronger than my girlfriend, but I'm like, I'm gonna push her, but let me kind of push. Like, you think you're genuinely thinking like, let me elbow nudge. Yeah. Because I know if I do a full push, she's going to the wall. Like, to the wall and like you're foreseeing like potential danger before you do these things. Yeah. Like, there's a whole process to it.
Okay, so let me ask you. This is the other question she asked us. When in a heated fight, do you excuse the mean things that are said because they were said out of anger?
No.
Okay, I'm glad you said that was your answer because bro, no,
you said what you said,
bro.
You know what you said, and don't fucking tell me you're angry.
I remember. I'm not even. I have no issues talking about this, but I remember, like, my ex literally had, like, out of all the girls I've ever dated, like, I don't know if I would say she had an anger problem, but like, she would say some shit when she got pissed, like mad. Yeah. And like, looking back on it now, I'm just like,
how'd I allow that?
How did I, like, not even just how did I allow that? Like, how do you move about, like, saying these things? And then, like, afterwards being like,
just go back.
My bad. Like, just I'm sorry. Just go back to normal. Like
it came out.
Bro, like, I've heard some wild shit, and I'm just like, fam, I don't know if I can't unhear things.
Yeah, I can't.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm very good at forgiving people, but never forgetting. And I don't think I excuse mean things that are said, right? Because there are some things that people say when they're in a heated argument that, to me, it comes across like they've been wanting to say.
Right. And they finally out.
And now they just said it out of anger. And I'm like, whoa, we're not just going to skip over what you just said. Yeah. So I don't know, man. Like,
yeah, it's a no. It's not even negotiable. Yeah. Like, I don't want to hear I was mad. Like, no.
So she was also saying, and earlier when I meant abuse, I was talking more emotional and mental. I know people come with their bad habits from previous relationships, and most of them have no clue. So it's nice to have a male perspective on it all. Have you dated an emotionally abusive person or someone who manipulated you? Okay, that was my last one. I don't think I've ever dated someone that was
emotionally abusive.
Kind of, yeah. I think my last one was kind of emotionally abusive. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I was like,
a victim,
or I was like, I did nothing ever wrong in a relationship. Yeah. But at the same time, like, I've heard some wild shit, bro. So I have to sit there and be like, yeah, like, from a male perspective, I think when we're in those positions, I don't know if you can speak, but I can. But when you're in those positions, you fall into like the societal thing where it's just like, okay, I'm the man in this situation. This is the woman. Like, how far can I really go? Like, what things can I say? Because now the roles are totally reversed in how things are. Because there's no way that, like, once again, the way that I just said, there's no way that I could say something like this and it'd be okay.
Right.
Shows you kind of like how people are looking at things in society, right? So I don't know. I think having gone through that situation, it's like now I spot red flags right away. Right. It was like, okay, if I see that, it's like, nah, like I can't, I'm not going to deal with it. Right? I'm not going to take the time to put myself through all that bullshit. But if you come into a relationship with bad habits, like if you bring baggage, like everyone has baggage, but if you bring that shit into a new relationship, like I don't know. I think that's some real immature shit. Like I understand there's some things that are just so deep rooted. Yeah, it's natural,
personality traits.
Yeah, but you have to. You can't bring shit into relationships at this day and age, right? Like I'm getting older, so if someone wants to come in. If I'm going to date someone, they're gonna be like, well, you know, this happened in my last relationship, which is, you know, why I treat you like this. I'm like, nah, that's. I'm not.
This is why.
I'm not that same person.
You're not gonna justify your foolishness.
I think what I would do is, you know, if I cared about the person, I'm gonna. It's not my job to fix you, but at the same time, if I care about you, I'm gonna take the time to like actually try and resolve this, because I'm the type of person to just up and leave. But it's like, come on, there's only a certain amount of time before it's like finito. You know what I mean? It's over. I think there was another question she had. She said, when some fights and arguments turn really ugly, I want to know how you men mentally process these things. So you ever been in like a heated argument?
Kind of dumbass question.
I know. So like, what do you? How do you think, if you could just look back in hindsight, like, imagine you're in third person looking at you in this argument.
I know what I do though. How
do you think you were processing it though?
It's just stress. Like it's like I have these tells.
Yeah.
Like I know I have tells.
Yeah.
And I think anyone that knows me long enough.
Yeah.
Can be like, that's his tell. Okay. He's annoyed. He's not gonna talk anymore. Like they just like I have these tells. I know these things about myself. If I'm in a heated argument and it's really intense, I'm someone to be like, listen, these are my points. I hear yours. What's a solution? If it continues to go in a circle, I clock out. Because I'm like, I try to solve it. You want me to be angry. And I refuse to give you that satisfaction. So because of that, we'll keep going in this circle since you want to keep doing this thing in a circle. And I'll entertain it, but I'm mentally checked out. And I know I know myself. So I get to the point where like I go, okay, all right, okay. Like my answers become like, okay. Oh, right, okay. Like it just becomes a super like, okay. Literally every response is literally me saying, are you done yet? In words. Like,
wow.
Okay. Are we done? Okay. No problem. Okay. And I know that I get to that point. That's just me. Like I prefer, I don't like holding on to things. And I'm not someone who lingers on to things to the next day. I hate that. If we argue today, I don't want to be arguing tomorrow with the same thing. That's true. If we argue today and you're upset, whatever, go to sleep and wake up and we'll like, you don't need to be rude the next day. It doesn't need to roll over into tomorrow and then we're being weird and like there's no need for any of that. Like I'm such a person that's like, what's our issue? Let's address it. Can we close this? Like I always ask, can we close this? Like is this done? Like so that I can hear an actual acceptance, because if you accept this, I don't want this mood the next day. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no need for that. That's just how I deal with things.
That's fair. And the last thing is, can you shed some light on your experiences with living with your girl and how you make life easier coexisting with her? I can already off the bat say how like living with Jamie has made my life easier. I mean, like, everyone that talks to me, asks me about Jamie, and they're like, what does she do? And I say, you know, she's a chef. She's a cook. She models as well. Everyone's like, oh, so you got it good then, huh? You got it good. Because, you know, I'm dating a girl who loves to cook.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes to the point where I'm just like, yo, you can chill, eh? Like, you don't have to cook. Like, it's all good. I think, I don't know, it's a little bit, well, actually, no. We're in the same position. Like, our girls moved here. So for me, you know, sometimes I try to make it easier for her by, you know, like taking care of like the little things. The fact that she's new here, I'm trying to show her around different places. If she needs to get certain places, I have no issue like driving her, doing any of that type of shit. Yeah. But I know we talked about in the last podcast, just living with someone is very different. You know, like you realize very quickly how different you are. So trying to navigate that space has been very interesting for me so far. Right? It's my first time living away from home for this long, and
with somebody,
living with someone like my girl. So it's like, okay, there's a lot of things I'm learning, but overall, it hasn't been too bad, to be completely honest with you. Yeah. What about you, Rhonda? Like, what do you think?
I think we're just now starting to like adjust into each other's dynamic.
Yeah.
I think the biggest hurdle, I guess I could say, was probably just like understanding each other's different worlds and like appreciating it.
Okay.
And I think she's there. I believe she's there. In terms of like we obviously have different, you know, paths and different skill sets and careers, whatever. So she might not be super into photography or into what I'm doing, and I'm obviously not super into nails and makeup.
Yeah.
But what we both appreciate about each other is the drive and the work and the fact that the other person's enjoying what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're kind of, you know, holding on to, and that's what kind of makes it work. Is because like I'm happy seeing her do well in her shit, and vice versa. She's happy when good things happen, and like genuinely happy. And instead of it feeling like, you know, it's not a competition. It's not like, okay, if I'm working on something, it's not I'm working on something instead of being with you. Like that. That's probably the most difficult thing when it comes to relationships with people that live with each other. Yeah. Especially with someone who works for themselves. Yeah. Is determining like their time versus work time. Yeah. And on top of it, it's like subconsciously, a lot of people may not understand. Like if you work from home, let's say you work on your computer and your computer is your job, right? Yeah. Or you're working on your computer is your job. It may look like, to someone who doesn't understand what you're doing, it may look like you're just always on the computer. Yeah. When in fact, you're actually working. Yeah. And the only reason it looks like you're always on the computer is because it's in your home. Because if this was the way, it's your job. If you're on your computer at work.
Yeah, I would spend all day at work.
Right. Yeah. But the thing is, when you transition that workflow into your home, now visually, it looks like you're just always on your computer. Like, no, these are hours of work that I would be doing somewhere else. It just happens to be my home, and you can see me. Like, that's the only difference, is that it looks like I'm not working because you can physically see me. Yeah. So you just think like, oh, it's just a computer, or you're just there. Yeah, I see what you're saying. They have to separate the difference. Like when they see you on the computer, or when if whatever your job is, if it's not computer, if it's your space, or you're an artist, or whatever you're doing, when your partner sees you in your space, they can't look at it as you're just passing time. Like that has to be like, oh, this person's working. Yeah. When they're done work, I'll see them. Even though you can physically see. Yeah. It has to be understood that they're not done work yet. So when my partner comes home, even though you're already home, but they have to visualize it like when my partner comes home, then he's my time.
You know that's that's an interesting thing. Like, I think that's something I need to I'm going to need to work on, because it's getting to the point where like my girl's she's gonna be working like pretty much like 6-7 days a week, right? So for me, whether I'm out doing a gig or I'm like here working, I think to make her life easier, I'll need to like carve out time where it's like, okay, if I'm working all these hours and she's working like X amount of days in a row, there should be like a certain time every day where it's like, okay, I'm not working, you know, just to at least have that quality time or to do shit with her. Because otherwise, exactly like what you said, I run the risk of having that happen where she's like, okay, this guy's always on his computer, blah, blah. Even if I am just working, right? It's
just what it's perceived as.
Yeah.
It's just a computer. You're just always in the computer. That's where it's work.
Yeah.
Like, but
it's like sometimes
I know what it looks like.
I don't know you, but like I guarantee, like there've been times where it's like, yo, I don't want to be in front of my computer all the time. I just don't.
I physically have to be because the chats get done.
Yeah, there are plenty of times where I don't want to be in my computer. I don't like sitting in front of my computer for hours on end.
You don't enjoy it.
Don't enjoy it, like, but
you gotta do it.
It's gotta get done. Like, it's how I get money. You know what I mean? So, you know, it is what it is. But I think the more I spend time around my girls, like the more I understand her personality and certain dynamics. Oddly enough, I think the more I spend around her, the more time I spend around her, the more I understand myself. A bit more like, I don't think I've ever really been in a situation where I can be like, oh, like this person completes me. But it's like,
they add to you.
Yeah, I've been in a situation. I'm in a situation now where I really understand, like, okay, these are things I really like. These are things I don't like. This is how I react. This is how I'm going. This is how I deal with certain situations, you know? So it's like, I don't know. Things have been great, but it's all been a learning experience, right?
And it'll continue to be.
Yeah, definitely. Very much so. Anyway, I think that's all the questions that we got today. Feels good to be back.
Feels great to be back. Feels great to be back.
Yeah.
Was there anything else we want to talk about?
The Dwight Howard thing.
Dwight Howard. This is okay. First, for those of you who don't know, because some people don't give a shit about basketball. Some people aren't on Twitter. Some people aren't on Instagram. Some people just somehow find our SoundCloud, which, thank you.
Yeah.
And we're also now on Spotify. I put us on Spotify last week, so if you guys are Spotify, I'm a Spotify user myself, so I don't know why I didn't put us on for a long time, but I figured it'd be time now. So we're also on Spotify, but for those people who aren't into the loop with Dwight Howard, who's an NBA player, he recently got exposed. Let's use the word exposed.
Yeah.
Last week or this weekend? I think over the weekend, I believe.
This past weekend.
For having a relationship / interaction / intimacy with a transgendered person.
Okay, can I tackle this first? I'll go first. Okay, so
here's
my thing. So, for people that don't know who Dwight Howard
is Dwight Howard gay?
I don't know. Here, hold on. So
I just want to know though.
Here's my thing. So Dwight Howard is a basketball player in the NBA.
6'10".
Should have been a hell of a lot better than he is. Yeah. But I don't know what's been going on with this guy. But here's my thing. Aside from the situation that Ryan just described, this guy has 5 kids. Not a problem. But he has 5 kids by 5 different women. Right? So to me personally, and this is a hot take, that is so problematic. That's almost more problematic than the situation he's in to me. Because if you want to just play devil's advocate, bro, if you want to apply some real dumb logic, like, you know, dumb hood logic, what he's doing currently might be the best thing for him, so he starts breeding things, bro, because he can't breed any of these.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Wow.
That's a hot take.
Wow.
But he needs to stop.
Man said, wow. You're basically insinuating that he should be fucking guys to stop having kids?
Look, he doesn't...
Oh, my God. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my God, Savoy.
What?
Oh, you might as well just fuck men. What?
He has 5 kids by 5 different women.
So that means he needs to start fucking ass?
Hey, I'm not saying
don't hate me.
I'm not saying he needs to. I'm not saying he needs to. I'm saying that.
At least he's slowing down?
At least he's slowing down.
Oh, my God.
Anyway.
Man said, hey, he's smoking ass.
all I'm saying is, it's like, look, in my opinion, him having all these kids is like super problematic. Now he's doing all this shit. If it's true or not, because supposedly, I think the next day, and it was Kwame that sent me the link about how this girl tried to finesse. It was like 2 other rappers saying the same thing, and it turned out to not be true. So no one knows if it's true or not. That being said,
yeah, but those combos are just fucking weird.
I know they're weird.
Like,
but look, I'm not defending him, right? I'm
No,
not saying,
I mean,
I'm not saying those things are real. Right? I'm not saying those things aren't real. I'm just saying it would not be hard to fake those things.
Yeah, let's just clarify. There's nothing to defend.
Yeah.
Listen, if Dwight Howard's fucking ass, fucking ass.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with fucking ass for him.
Shannon Sharp said, like, yo, his sex life is none of my business.
None of our business.
I don't care what he does.
It's just the problem is, which I saw online as well, is if you're fucking ass, then fuck ass.
Yeah.
But if you're fucking ass, 1, and you're trying to hide it.
Yeah.
2, you're trying to shame those people who do.
Yeah.
And 3, you're threatening the person for letting that possibly get out because your fear of homophobia or what people will think about you. Those are problems. If you're fucking ass, fuck ass.
But here's my thing though. Okay, so I definitely agree with the threatening thing that all those allegations, those are very serious, right? As much as we're joking, that shit's very serious. My whole thing though is, because Kadeem my brother equated it like this. I think he's like the way that he, is ashamed of him messing around with this person. He's like, it would be no different than like, he's like, if you were dating like a white girl and, to everyone else, she's like describing every black guy using the N-word and all this shit. But then she's fucking with you, like totally fine, right? On the low. He's like, how can you do that, right? Like if you're talking bad about an entire race to everyone else, but then to me, you're like totally normal. Yeah. Which is Dwight Howard doing this, right? That being said, the only thing that I didn't understand in this entire thing was when this person was like... I didn't like that she was like shaming Dwight for being with a transgender person, because I'm like, you're transgender. Like, I understand what she's trying to do.
Yeah,
she's trying to say like
you like men,
men, blah blah. Yeah. But like, if you read the transcripts of everything she was saying, she was literally trying to make it seem like Dwight has a problem for sleeping with transgender people, right? Like, I'm pretty sure if I wish I could pull it up, but there was some words she was using where it was just like, oh, on top of that, he's a bottom. Blah, blah, remember? And I'm like, okay, like, I understand what you're trying to do, but
like you can't have it both ways.
You're almost dissing yourself. Yeah. Like, what are you trying to do?
You can't have it both ways.
You know what I mean? So I understand in the grand scheme of things, that's like a very minuscule part of it.
I know, but like,
I just thought that was like very interesting.
It was petty. It was like, it's basically saying like, okay, if you're gonna be gay, but don't be the soft gay type.
Yeah.
What? Like, yeah, like if you're gonna fuck guys, but you're on the bottom. Like you're the soft gay.
But he's a 6'10" guy on the bottom. I'm like, was that even necessary?
Yeah.
That was like the one guy moment I had in there where I was like, was that even necessary? Like, why'd you need to see it?
Like,
I don't care.
That was your female part of this transgender. That came out.
Wow. Wow, man.
Oh, man.
But I don't know. Overall, I just think that, sports in general, to me, is, as one of my good friends Chris has always said, is the best soap opera. It's the best soap opera on television. The NBA is the best entertainment ever. So I don't know. I think the whole situation is. I think it's, aside from the whole threatening thing, whether or not any of this is true. Yeah. Like, you can't not look at it and find some of it funny just because you're like, yo, what is going on with this guy, right? I mean, apparently he's injured right now and out of the league with a buttocks injury, according to the doctors. So I mean, the timing is just impeccable. You know what I mean? Like, you couldn't make this up.
I hate that word.
You couldn't make it up. Yeah. Anyway, I think it's time we wrap up.
Yeah, guys. Thank you. Thank you again for stopping by our episode We Can Talk. You've tuned into SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Play, and Apple Music. WNTT podcast. Thank you guys. You guys are dope. You guys are so great. As we discussed briefly, we're gonna still try maybe to do a mid-month Christmas party if we can get that sorted out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get on top of that actually this week to try and see if it's possible. But yeah, if you guys are down for that, hopefully it gets in the works. Zamora's gone to Mexico next week. I'll probably be in Vegas just after mid-month, so I'm hoping we can do this thing before I go to Vegas. And yeah, let's have a good December, guys. It's the end of November. Finish the year strong. I know I will.
Yep.
Because I don't give myself a damn choice. Force yourself to have a good year and close this year strong.
Yeah.
Thank you guys again for stopping by an episode of We to Talk. I am your host. Thank you guys again for stopping by an episode. Thank you guys again for stopping by another episode. What the fuck? Thank you guys again for stopping by another episode of We Need to Talk. It doesn't talk like this for it to work. I am your host, Mr. KOA, alongside
Top Boy.
Thank you for listening. Peace.
We need to talk.
We need to talk.
We need to talk.
We need to talk.
We need to talk.